Now at 10, a rally in support an intense school board meeting, all stemming from the renewal of one teacher's contract. Why the district says its hands are tied.
Plus, a pastor grieving the loss of his wife comes face to face with her killer, and WESH 2 was the only station in the courtroom.
The defendant has taken from us our patriarch, my wife, 64 years.
His final words to the suspect before he was taken away to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
And leaders have locked in millions of dollars to try and bring some major sporting events to the City Beautiful. The next steps for the move and how this could help Orange County.
WESH 2 News on CW18 starts right now.
First tonight, a passionate school board meeting in Brevard County with teachers, parents, and students defending one of their own. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jesse Pagan.
And I'm Michelle Imparato. This all stems from a teacher's contract not being renewed.
The district said she violated state law. As WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown reports, a rally was held in support of Melissa Calhoun.
And WESH 2 did reach out to teacher Melissa Calhoun. We are still waiting to hear back.
Meanwhile, in Orange County, school board members are moving forward with bringing a consultant to try and help with enrollment within the district. The plan would allow a private vendor to reach out to families who've left the district for charter, private, or homeschool options and encourage them to re-enroll. Superintendent Dr. Maria Vasquez says this is a company used by several school districts and wants everyone to make sure they understand.
And what I need to make sure everyone understands is that what we are paying for that service, if they are able to bring back any student and they register and remain in our school for 30 days or more, is a portion of the FTE that is generated by that student. So it's not costing us additional money, it's costing us a portion of the funding that they do generate.
School board members say as of now, the current commitment to use the company is for a year.
Brush fires have been sparking up all across our area. Officials say conditions left behind by hurricanes can create hazards for responders, and everyone needs to do their part. It is critical to create a 50-foot open buffer between any structures, including boats, cars, and trailers, and wood lines or unkept areas. Mother Nature is very unpredictable, and doing these little things around your home can make it easier for you and first responders. And right now, there are several burn bans in effect all across Central Florida.
First warning meteorologist Cam Trang here. And Cam, as much as a lot of people like this dry and warmer weather, it's been tough out there for the environment.
It really has. We haven't seen much rain here in Central Florida since April 1st. So 3 weeks with no rain, and it's definitely having its impact. We have several counties now under a burn ban. In fact, one county just got put under the burn ban today, and that is Brevard County. You can see Seminole, Orange, Volusia, Lake, as well as Polk counties are all under burn bans. And again, Brevard County was just added into that mix this afternoon or today. So that means open burns are prohibited because of the extremely dry conditions. We're also under a fire weather threat for tomorrow, an elevated threat because of not only the dry conditions, but it's going to be hot tomorrow. And we're also looking at very low humidity. So you see much of the I-4 corridor on west under an elevated fire threat, meaning a fire can spark very quickly and also spread very quickly. Taking a look at our satellite and radar, it is clear, it is dry out this evening, and temperature is pretty comfortable. We're at 72 in DeLand, 72 right now in St. Cloud. Look ahead tomorrow, it's going to be another hot one. Starting off comfortable for the start of the day, but then we will see a high temperature around 89 tomorrow afternoon. The good news is there is a chance of rain in the forecast soon. I'll let you know when, coming up 15 minutes.
Orange County commissioners approved about $29 million to try and bring some major sporting events to a new and improved Camping World Stadium and the Kia Center. Florida Citrus Sports is working to bring the Jaguars' 2027 season to the city.
And the Greater Orlando Sports Commission is trying to get the UFC and WWE. WESH 2's Haley Grumbleholm is live outside of Camping World Stadium tonight and walking us through what the county gets in return. Haley.
So Orlando, Orange County could be booked and busy in the next couple of years. You could be taking in a Jaguars game here at Camping World Stadium, and just about a mile and a half away, you might be able to catch a WWE event at the Kia Center. And though it might take tens of millions of dollars to draw these events in, the groups trying to bring them here say they could generate hundreds of millions more. Now, as far as a timeline on when a decision could be made if the Jaguars will play here at Camping World Stadium, NFL owners are set to meet and make a decision in May. Covering Orange County live in Orlando, Haley Crumbleholm, WESH 2 News.
In Osceola County, the man accused of murdering Madeline Soto will have to return to court tomorrow. Today, a judge denied a request by Stephen Stern's attorneys to delay a hearing focusing on critical evidence in the case. New documents show the defense claimed law enforcement unlawfully collected evidence from Stern's phone, a claim prosecutors have denied, saying Stern's gave them consent at the time. Stern's faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder and sexual abuse. He's facing a death penalty if convicted. We will be at tomorrow's hearing and bring you the details on WESH 2.
The man accused of killing a pastor's wife will spend the rest of his life in prison, and only WESH 2 was in the Orange County courtroom as Lucy Pat Curl's husband gave his emotional testimony.
The defendant has taken from us our patriarch, my wife, 64 years, happily, all the time. She's been the one, the glue that kind of holds our whole family together.
Investigators say Ronald Davis forced his way into Pastor William Curl's home back in February and brutally beat his wife. She died days later. Today, Pastor William told the man who killed his wife he forgives him.
He obviously knows what he did. He obviously should be punished for what he did. But that doesn't negate forgiveness.
Davis has 30 days to appeal his guilty plea.
New tonight out of Volusia County, a teen was arrested after detectives say they poisoned his grandmother by putting bleach in her milk.
Take the Clorox from the other container and throw it in the milk container.
But in the entirety of the container?
Yes.
Okay. And then you poured it into your glass?
I had some.
The Volusia County Sheriff's Office posted this body camera video online after the incident happened. We're not naming the teen because of his age. It's not clear what charges he may face.
Taking a live look right now at St. Peter's Square in Vatican City, the coffin carrying Pope Francis's body will be taken from Casa Santa Maria to St. Peter's Basilica tomorrow. Pope Francis will continue to lie in state there through Friday ahead of his funeral on Saturday. Italian officials paid their respects to the Pope today, and the public will be able to beginning tomorrow. Meanwhile, cardinals are arriving to the Vatican for the funeral rites and the conclave, which is set to start in about 2 weeks. And the loss of the Pope hits especially hard in the Hispanic community. Ahead in our next half hour, we're going to take a look at how some local people are remembering him as a powerful voice for immigrants.
A man in prison for 25 years is hoping a new hearing will win him a new trial and his freedom.
Next at 10, we break down the connection between Sheriff John Mina and the case and what could happen in the courtroom tomorrow. Cam.
And the pollen count will remain high through the end of the week because of no rain in sight through the weekend. But we do have a chance of a few showers coming soon. I'll let you know when during that 7-day forecast you actually may need that umbrella finally coming up.
Tomorrow morning, giving you a say in the future of Orange County's districts.
And timing out the next chance for rain while our grass gets drier and drier.
Start your day with WESH 2 News Sunrise, starting at 4:30 a.m.
Turning now to a follow-up to a WESH 2 Investigates exclusive. Tomorrow, a man convicted of murder, even though he didn't pull the trigger, will be in court fighting for his freedom.
He's been in prison for 25 years after a young police officer, who's now the Orange County Sheriff, shot and killed a teen during an armed robbery. WESH 2 Investigates Greg Fox explains it's a case involving a dead teenager and Sheriff John Mina. Greg will be in the courtroom when Jackson's hearing begins tomorrow morning. Since Sheriff Mina may be called to testify, he declined comment for this report. Charges against another man charged in the armed robbery were dropped, so WESH 2 is not identifying him, and he did not return our messages.
All right, we were about to crank up the heat around here in Central Florida, and Cam, it feels like it's just a little too early for these kinds of temperatures.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing high temperatures this weekend in the low 90s, 91, 92. We typically don't see 91, 92 until late June, early July. So summer is making a creep on pretty early into spring. So, and on top of that, very dry conditions through the weekend, but we do finally have a glimmer of hope with rain. Next week, a weak cold front will try to make its approach to Central Florida, and as it moves through, it is expected to, 1, drop our temperature slightly for early next week, and 2, bring us a shot for a few showers late Monday night into Tuesday. But up until then, though, you can see it is going to be hot. Even tomorrow will be at 89 degrees, so again, very warm. So here's a look at that next best chance of rain. I know you guys are looking forward to it because we haven't seen any decent rain here in Central Florida since April 1st. But we could see some light showers come Monday evening into Tuesday morning. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a whole lot of rain. We're talking about 1/4 of an inch or even less than that. But any little rain helps because look at the rainfall deficit. We are anywhere between 3.5 to almost 6 inches below where we should be for this time of year. So it's been an extremely dry start to 2025, and it's still going to be dry at least through the weekend. Live look outside. Here's a beautiful shot of Icon Park there, where we are looking at partly cloudy skies. A pretty nice night out. We're currently at 73 in Orlando, 72 in Sanford, and good evening, Leesburg. We're at 76 degrees. First warning radar showing dry conditions, and as you wake up tomorrow morning, a nice comfortable start will be mostly in the middle 60s, and then highs tomorrow afternoon along the coast will be a tad cooler. We'll see highs mostly in the low 80s, while inland spots will be heating up into the upper 80s. The farther west you are will actually hit 90 degrees. Heading out to the attractions tomorrow, just make sure you bring plenty of water. It will be a hot one out there. We'll see a light wind out of the east at 5 to 15 miles per hour with high pressure control. It's going to keep us dry tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. It's also going to keep our fire risk elevated as well because of how dry and also how hot it will be. Again, we'll be climbing to the 90s late week into the upcoming weekend. So once again, here's a look at your Central Florida certified most accurate forecast. Very hot for inland spots this week. We have a slight chance for a sprinkle Sunday, but again, a best shot for rain will be mostly Monday night into Tuesday. Have a look at your beach forecast and the 7-day forecast for our coastline areas coming up at 10:47. But for now, let's end the break.
CW18's Happy Hours, weeknights starting at 5, only on CW18. This Saturday.
Be on your toes. I don't even know how to describe Talladega other than put everybody in a blender and hope you come out the other side.
Be there for one of the biggest races on the NASCAR calendar.
Talladega is just treacherous. Anything can happen.
You can't win the championship at Talladega, but you sure can lose it.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series, Saturday at 3 on CW18.
You might think they know every trick, but it's just
completely innovative.
An illusion.
You fooled us.
Penn and Teller fool us.
Friday at 8 on CW18.
Even small changes can benefit the planet and your mental and physical health.
Mandy Gaither talked with a doctor about healthy habits that also help the earth.
New tonight, take a look at the world's first humanoid half-marathon runners. More than 20 two-legged robots ran in a race in China. Teams from several companies and universities took part in showing off their new tech friends. You can see there were models of all shapes and sizes. That's a little one right there. Now, don't worry, these bots didn't exactly break out into a sprint. Instead, they finished firmly behind their human competitors.
Kind of looks like me trying to run.
Oh, I don't like watching robots do anything. It's a little unnerving.
Yeah, a little uncanny valley in a way. Yeah.
Okay, when an emergency happens, the odds are you don't have to look very far to find treatment.
Yeah, why more emergency rooms are popping up across Central Florida.
Plus, a wild scene in Indiana after a man pulls out what appears to be a sword on officers, but he didn't stop there.
It just turned wild from there, and then he went around, got in the cop car and took off. I never expected it to turn into what it was.
How far he got before officials were finally able to take him down.
Sheldon Cooper. He's a little too smart for his own good.
You just assume you're always right.
It's not an assumption.
Surviving Sheldon is a science of its own.
You should see the look on your face.
The Big Bang Theory, weeknights at 7 on CW18.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News on CW18 starts now.
Thank you for staying with WESH 2 on CW18. A Florida State University student from Orlando is now calling for stricter gun control.
It follows last week's attack on the college campus. Madeline Probst joined other FSU students and House Democrats at the state capitol earlier today. They're asking the legislature to expand red flag laws, safe storage laws for guns inside of homes, and for more money to harden college campuses.
Because of a lack of proactive planning and poor policy at the hand of our legislators, there are 2 people who are dead who shouldn't be, 6 people in the hospital who shouldn't be, thousands of students who no longer feel safe on campus, and a community that is still reeling.
A bill is currently in the legislature that would lower the age to buy long guns. A second bill would allow students to carry guns on college campuses. Both appear unlikely to pass this session, which ends in 8 days. Now, tomorrow, WESH 2's David Jones will be traveling to Tallahassee as students come together in a march against gun violence. You can catch his live reports starting tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on CW18.
Taking a live look at St. Peter's Square, where in just hours, mourners will fill Vatican City to view the body of Pope Francis. The Pope's body was displayed for the first time at the Vatican earlier today, lying in a plain wooden coffin lined with zinc. The Pope, dressed in red vestments and his bishop's mitre, his body will be transferred tomorrow to St. Peter's Basilica for worshipers to pay their respects ahead of his funeral on Saturday. In Central Florida, the loss of the Pope hits especially hard in the Hispanic and Latino community. WESH 2's Pamela Combe talked to several people who are remembering him as they call him a powerful voice for immigrants. Our coverage of the death of Pope Francis continues on WESH.com. There you can read more about the life of the pontiff and the preparations happening now to select his successor. Looking ahead in New York, opening statements are expected to start tomorrow in Harvey Weinstein's rape retrial. The jury is made up of 7 women, 5 men, and 6 alternates. A jury convicted Weinstein at his first trial 5 years ago, but New York's highest court overturned the conviction and 23-year prison sentence last year. The court found the original trial judge allowed prejudicial testimony. That judge's term expired in 2022, and he's no longer on the bench. Weinstein pleaded not guilty to raping 1 woman or sexually assaulting 2 others.
Now to a developing story in Tampa where a man is facing charges after video shows him pinning an 11-year-old girl to the ground as she screamed for help.
I wasn't doing anything, I swear to God! I swear to God, help me!
Investigators say that's 43-year-old Marius Mutu leaning on the girl's back with what looks like a phone in his hand. She tries to push his arm away, and then another person intervenes, and the video stops there. Now, the sheriff's office says Mutu told deputies someone had been throwing eggs at his apartment for the past week. He said it happened again on Saturday, and he saw the girl walking by and assumed she was responsible. Mutu told deputies that he was trying to take a picture of the girl to report her to apartment management.
Long-term trauma, and the parents and anybody else who witnessed it, like there's kids all up and down these streets every night. I just think of like, what if it was my kid or our kid? It could be anybody.
Mutu is charged with battery and false imprisonment, but has since bonded out of jail. Investigators have not said if the girl had anything to do with the eggings.
New tonight, a wild scene in Warwick County, Indiana, after police say a man pulled a sword on an officer. Video shows the man, Nina Devils, pulled over by a police officer trying to run when he pulls what appears to be a sword from the car. Later, you see him hop into the officer's patrol car and take off. That's when officers were left to negotiate with him over the police radio.
Shut the door calmly. Have a nice day. Keep the window, dog. You need to get medic.
Over a span of 30 miles, 3 counties, and across state lines from the first incident, Devils crashed into a field. But at this point, you can guess what he did. The suspect then kept running. Police were finally able to tase him and take him into custody.
Also new tonight, this might be a first for deputies. A Florida man is accused of offering them a vodka spritzer in the middle of a chase.
I'm gonna give you a drink, that's
it. He's drinking some, look like a beer or something.
Yeah, deputies say the 39-year-old man stole booze and had a cold one behind the wheel, all while refusing to stop for deputies. The chase eventually ended with a crash and a toast.
Show me your hands now! Get on
the ground now! A lot of stupid right now. You guys had fun, all right?
Deputies say the man was under the influence and they gave him a ride to jail.
Now to Volusia County in the search for a wanted man. The sheriff says he's a contractor who targeted an elderly woman who lost her home in a fire and got away with $300,000. More than a year after the fire, the home is still empty. The owner is desperate to move back in, and the man who promised to rebuild it is now facing warrants for grand theft, fraud, and exploiting an elderly victim. The money 39-year-old Ryan Paul is accused of stealing from the 74-year-old woman was meant to rebuild her home.
Despite being told by the victim's families not to deal with the actual victim, deal with them because they had power of attorney, he went to the bank and had, deductions put into his account, had her change paperwork, went with her to make withdrawals there.
The sheriff says they're offering a $1,000 reward for anyone with information that could lead to Paul's arrest.
Have you ever wondered why all of a sudden there are so many emergency rooms popping up in Central Florida, sometimes less than a mile from an already established hospital? Well, we've been wondering the same thing, so we sent WESH 2's Spencer Tracy out to get some answers.
Get ready to step into worlds where dragons soar, galaxies collide, and adventure comes to life.
Opening day is just 1 month away for Universal Epic Universe, and coming up next at 10, we take a look at how Central Florida's newest theme park will bring in some major money to our state. Cam.
And a lot of folks are in town for a Jeep Beach Week, and thankfully it'll be another beautiful day in Daytona Beach with lots of sunshine, a high of 82 degrees, and staying dry. In fact, I'll show you the new county that was just added to the burn ban list today, coming up.
Connors are here.
What?
Hold on to your hat.
Come on over.
Why doesn't anybody ever call me and invite me over?
You don't need to be invited because you're always here.
Tonight at midnight on CW18. You're watching Central Florida's CW18.
1 month to go until people can step into the portals at Universal Epic Universe on May 22nd.
Our Park Central team has followed the development for years now, and as WESH 2's Christina Watkins tells us, once it officially opens, it is expected to bring billions of dollars to Central Florida. Ooh, we've been having some good theme park days recently. I mean, a little bit hot, but no rain for the people who are out there.
That's right, and that stretch will continue through the weekend, but finally, guys, there is some rain in the forecast. We desperately need it. But before we get there, though, it's going to be hot. We're talking about high temperatures in the 90s. It's been 21 days, 3 weeks. Can you believe that we've seen any decent rain here in Central Florida? We saw a little over a quarter of an inch on April 1st, but finally, come Monday afternoon and evening, we are expecting our next best chance of rain, and that chance will linger into early Tuesday morning. And we really could use it because another county was added to the burn ban today, and that is Brevard County. So now we have Brevard, Volusia, Lake, Seminole, Orange, and Polk counties all under a burn ban, meaning any open burning is now prohibited because of the extremely dry conditions. And unfortunately, that dry stretch will linger through the upcoming weekend. On top of that, all that dry air and also the heat with the high pressure system building over us will allow us to climb into the low 90s. 90 the high on Friday, 91 the high on Saturday, 92 the high on Sunday. We typically don't see 92, 91 degree heat until about late June, so this heat is definitely running a little bit above average. Taking a live look outside, it's a beautiful night at 74 right now in the tourist district, 73 right now in Daytona Beach, and currently clear and dry out across the Space Coast this evening, as well as in Tavares, where you're currently at 76 degrees. Seeing just a few clouds out this evening, otherwise dry conditions, and tomorrow morning will be another comfortable start, mostly into the middle 60s. Highs tomorrow along the coast, low 80s around 81 in Palm Coast, 82 Daytona Beach, 88 for inland spots though. And right now are expecting your highs in DeLand, 88, 92 in the Villages. So the farther west you are, the hotter it will be for tomorrow. If you're heading out to the theme parks, as we mentioned earlier, bring that water. You're going to need it. You're going to need to stay hydrated. And if you're heading to the coast, you're also going to need that water, but it's not going to be as hot. We are also looking at a moderate risk for rip currents for folks along the coast. If you're plan on entering the water, be extra mindful of that. Here's a look at your Central Florida certified most accurate forecast. It's going to be a very hot and dry week through the upcoming weekend. But again, we do have that chance of rain coming late Monday into Tuesday. This is with a frontal system moving through, a very weak one. But hey, we'll take it because it's also going to drop our temperatures a bit too. Here's a look along the coast. Not as hot this week for you folks, mostly in the low 80s. But then this upcoming weekend, it'll get pretty warm there too. 84 the high along the coast on Saturday, 86 the high on Sunday. So that's definitely the hottest day. And then also with that weak front arriving, you too could see a few showers along the coast Monday into Tuesday. Now let's head it over to Kristen Lago, who is live in Boston covering the Magic. Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Cam. Yeah, tonight in sports, we are bringing you back over to Beantown, where hopefully the Orlando Magic are tucked away in bed. They've got a pivotal game, too, tomorrow night against the Boston Celtics. Coming up, we'll have a full practice report for you from earlier today. We'll hear from some of your favorite Magic players and what adjustments they're hoping to make in tomorrow night's game.
I can't believe this is happening. It's happening.
The funniest late night lineup is on CW18.
I'm so excited.
Kick things off with Bob Hart's Abishola.
This is shaping up to be a great night.
2.5 Men. The Connors.
What's a who?
American Housewife. And the Goldbergs.
Comedy.
The CW18 Late Night Comedy Club.
I couldn't be more excited.
Tonight starting at 11 on CW18.
Well, that is just so funny.
Now, WESH 2 Sports on CW18. Sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Get Game 2. Welcome to Boston, everybody. I'm Kristen Lago. Even after dropping Game 1 on Sunday afternoon, let me tell you, the Magic aren't hanging their heads. They're not hitting the panic button, and there's definitely no quit in this team. In fact, it's all quite the opposite. Earlier today at practice, Magic guard Kentavious Caldwell-Pope telling me this team's confidence, it's at an all-time high. Why? Because this locker room feels a strong sense of belief in what they're capable of doing and how they're capable of playing. For the Magic, it all comes down to being able to sustain their effort, their intensity, their physicality for a full 48 minutes. We didn't see that in Game 1. They know they have to do that in Game 2. For the Magic to beat the Celtics tomorrow night, they can't beat themselves.
I think we kind of just let up a little bit. I don't think we came out in that second half how we finished the first half. I think we got to get back to that. We got to try to play 48 minutes of being physical, getting after them guys, playing fast.
I think a lot of stuff in sports starts, mentally. Obviously we're not robots, so mistakes are going to happen. But I think just that second, third, fourth mistake is, where we can be a little bit better.
And cutting down the mental miscues was actually one of the biggest common themes we heard from this team as far as areas to improve and things that they've been honing in on over these last 2 days of practice. The other small details the Magic are focusing on include getting their role players more involved and doing their best to make every three-point shot for the Celtics a contested one. They make those, well, the Magic say they can live with those at least. Now, you have to remember that the Magic are still playing in the playoffs right now without two of their leading scorers and two of their best energy guys. We're talking about Magic guard Jalen Suggs and center Mo Wagner. Today at practice, Suggs told me that even though he and Mo are on the bench, they're still trying to make an impact on this team in whatever way possible.
I damn near had no voice after the game, so goes to show I was yelling a lot, calling out coverages, keeping guys engaged, keeping guys confident, and just keeping a certain juice about us from the sideline. I think is very important. I think you see the best teams that have won and that continue to win. The bench is all into it, everybody's together, and there's always an energy that's being provided, especially on the road, from our group over here. And so trying to be that, keep everybody locked in and again, talk a little smack.
That is definitely something he liked to hit on. He's talking smack from the bench. Okay, I want to add one last thing that we are keeping an eye on overnight and into tomorrow for game time. It is Celtics All-Star Jason Tatum. He was listed as doubtful for tomorrow's game with a bone bruise in his wrist. If he misses game 2, that would be the first playoff game he has missed in his NBA career. So we'll try to keep you updated on that as we hear more. But for now, live in Boston, I'm Kristen Lago. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Kristen, thank you. We saw her a little bundled up. Not too bad. Certainly opposite from what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, their high tomorrow is 70. So that's not too bad for a high. No?
That's lovely.
It sounds chilly now.
That's lovely for
I know, that's going to be chilly compared to what we're going to be dealing with. All right, let's take a look at our first warning radar. It is dry out tonight, and it will be tomorrow morning as you wake up and get the kids ready for work, and also for school as you get ready for work and get the kids ready for school. Day planner for tomorrow, bright sunshine, a high of 89 degrees, and once again, we are staying dry. However, we finally have a chance of rain in the forecast, but not until next week. Up until that rain arrives, though, it is going to be pretty hot. We'll be seeing highs in the low 90s, 91 the high by Saturday, 92 the high on Sunday. But look at that 30% chance of rain on Monday. That's going to be mostly in the evening, and then another chance for Tuesday of next week. So there is a glimmer of hope in terms of getting some help with that wildfire threat.
We will take it. Remember, you can wake up with WESH. The Sunrise Cruise starts at 4:30 a.m. with overnight news, first warning weather, and traffic. And we're staying on top of everything tonight.
Flip over to WESH 2 for local live, late breaking news at 11 o'clock right now. And you can always get our news online on WESH.com. Have a great night.